Welcome to the second part of the Uthden Troll Cup special event coverage. Last time we talked about the event itself. Now it's time to start cracking packs and doing trades. And without further ado, let's just jump to the good stuff straight away. Let's start with the 4th edition starters so we can see kinda where we're going with this card pool. The shrink wrap here is a really nice touch. I mean, the packs themselves, they look really good. If you want to take a little closer look, you can always pause the video and kind of check the text and see every little detail. These look so good. They're so real looking. Like, for the first time when I got these in my hand, I was thinking like, is this pack real? But no, these are made special for the event, and all the cards themselves also shrink wrapped here. Like, the attention to detail is just perfect. And with this little manual here in between, this looks good. So let's see. Okay, these are lands, and I think the rares are there as well. Maybe I don't know if the uncommons are as well, but let's first take a look at the manual. And if you want to look closer, you can just pause the video and just check each page, because the crew did an amazing job with this. All the little details, the stories about the events and everything. I mean, this is so special, so perfect. And here you can see the list of quests we got. These give us more card rewards later on, just completing all this stuff. And here's more about the previous Uthden Troll Cup events and all this kind of wonderful detail here. Like, they really went all out with this stuff. I mean, this is amazing work. And okay, we can list our trades here and opponents as well, so we can kind of keep track of all the stuff. That one is amazing. All right, let's start with the cards and see. Sophia Falcon, okay, good start. See, okay, weakness always handy, hand removal. Ooh, good chunky creatures as well, easy to cast stuff like War Mammoth. Okay, regeneration, nice simple pulls. Raise Dead, always useful. Psychic Venom, nice in draft. And oh yeah, we got a Timmy. This is great. Always a great start to see that. Okay, some basic stuff, nothing wonderful. Little banding creatures here and there. The land leeches, that's kind of nice. Iron Root Tree Folk, that's good in draft. That's such a chunky beater. Yeah, ooh, giant spider, that's good. Oh my god, disintegrate. Okay, we got a solid option right there. If we get good red cards, that disintegrate is going to my deck, and it's gonna be good. Let's see. Oh great. Oh, Carrion Ants. Now there's a good hit. Elven Rider, solid. Leo. Okay, we are getting some nice green and black stuff. Sinbad Silence Call, not much. Strip Mines, it's nice, but not really sealed playable. Okay, Wall of Bone and Wall of Stone, those are good. Inferno, now there's a good finisher. Mana Vault, we're hitting money here. Yeah, that's a great one. Reverse damage looks nice, and then we're hitting the basics. Oh, a nice little spread, everything spread out evenly. I think we're getting an extra swamp as the extra basic, which is kind of good if we're gonna be playing black here. But let's see. Black is a solid option at this point. Carrion Ants alone is a really good one, and the Elven Rider is basically unblockable creatures, so those are good. Leo is always fun, but not really much. Silence Call can be a nice combat trick, but not good. The Mana Vault can be useful here, because you can always pump the mana to Carrion Ants as well as the Inferno. Inferno is always a good finisher, but let's see. The Disintegrate is good, and Carrion Ants is solid, so that's good. Elven Riders is nice. Okay, and these Fallen Emperor packs, these are paper packs. These are not plastic, but they look so good. I mean, the attention to detail again, just like with the 4th edition box. This is just so great, so nostalgic to kind of crack this stuff up again. But I think we're getting a good base. Let's see. Ooh, Order of Even Hand. Okay, our deck is just getting formed and Neckrite as well. Odd of Lightbow. Okay, so this is kind of getting good because the black is really solid here. White has some nice cards, but I'm thinking we're missing a good like heavy top. But if we get not a Serra Angel maybe, then yeah, white would be better. But the Odd of Lightbow is good, but not great alone. All right, more Neckrites. Decent pull, and a lot of these basic cards and Breeding Bit and a Rainbow Veil. Okay, again, money with the Rainbow Veil, that's about what, €4, €5. But we're seeing a lot of good black cards. I think there's the base color we're gonna be going with at this point. The white is nice, but I don't think we haven't seen enough of them yet. Blue is at this point probably gonna be out of the question. Green may be a good splash color. We'll be getting a good amount of those bigger green common creatures that are easy to splash in. And again with the packs, these Chronicle packs, like they did really well with these. Then you get the metallic feeling, even though this is a paper print. But it looks so good. It looks real, and if this is the stuff we're going to be seeing later on other Uthden Troll Cup events, yeah, sign me up right away. Yeah, Tormod script, nice, but not in really a sealed card. Solid, useful card. Ooh, Quambarge Witches, that's a good one. Now we're getting good black cards. Transmigrant's good, and Aladdin. Hey, hang on. We're having combo moments right here. Ashnod's Transmigrant and Aladdin. I actually made a video about that, so there's a little nice combo for us. The Banshee's interesting. Obelisk of Undoing doesn't do much. So again, nice few cards, and heading out to the last pack. Do we get anything good in here? Okay, solid, useful cards. Rune Sword, not really. Hey, Hasran Agras, now that's a useful one. More goblin stuff. Caspan Ogre, that would be nice if we're gonna go to green. Bog Rats can always be nice, good one drop. Ooh, Taggle Maggot. Yeah, it's a pseudo removal, but let's put it there for this time because it looks nice. It could be useful. Crow Giant and Rubinia is completely out of our colors at this point. White and blue is not something we're really using. So, this is the pool. Let's see what we get. Carrion Ants, that's an obvious choice. This is solid green ones. Inferno is one of those cards that you can end the games with it out of nowhere, so that's interesting. A lot of good black creatures. Neckrite is one of those oddities that if you can find a way to make it unblockable, it's going to be really good. The Breeding Bit's an odd one here, because it looks like we're getting a lot of aggressive cards, low curve stuff, especially like the one with the Order of Even Hand, but Breeding Pit just makes 0/1s. Cyclopean Mummy, you play it if you have to, but well, 2 mana, 2/1, it's something. Raised Dead, I think we can play. Skate Zombies, iffy. Weakness easily in. The Word of Binding is a nice combat trick. It's one of those cards that you can just alpha strike with it, but it's a late game card. You don't really, probably not gonna see play here. Yeah, I doubt we're gonna be putting that one in. Tonus Weaponry, actually, that might be useful. We may be putting in a lot of smaller creatures, so that one-off Tonus Weaponry might actually be good. The Wall of Bone, and that's a solid blocker. That's something you use. The Armored Troll, that's a good question. It's a bit expensive. The effect is good. The effect would work really well, but I don't think we can play. Same with the Sword. Yeah, the casting cost and the activation costs are a bit high for us. The Mana Vault, I think we can play that. As for the casting costs, there's that the Breeding Pit has a lot of colorless. Taggle Maggot, and we can always pump it to Carrion Ants if we got extra. Yeah, I think, yeah, let's put that one in for now, because that works also really well with the disintegrate. But how about the green creatures? Giant spider, iron root, tree folk, those are easy to splash in. Land leeches is handy. If we go a lot with the green, Naf's Asp is good. Regeneration works quite nicely, and War Mammoth is good. And I think that's most of the green stuff. No, that was the Elven Riders, those goes well. The Grow Giant is fun, but honestly, like, that's, if we go full on green, I think we can do that. Yeah, let's put all the green stuff in here and see how much there actually is. Forest Walking Creature, yeah, it works, but not great. The Elvish Hunter, that's nice control creature, basically just keep an opponent's creature tapped, but not sure if it's gonna be great. Spore Cloud, a little iffy. And for white, we would have the Order of Labor, but I think this is gonna be a good trade to give someone. Because for white, there's not enough stuff. Like, we got what? There's like 4 good playable, 5. Samite Healer, well, yeah, well, you could play that, but I'm not really sure. The Wall of Spears, that's useful. That's colorless. It has power. I think we can, for now, put it in the deck and see if it goes well. The Aladdin combo, it's fun, but not really sure about that yet. As for the blue cards, is there enough of them to actually do anything? Oh, there was the reverse damage as well. We can just put that as a trade card. The Rune Sword, it is interesting, but as a 6-mana artifact, I don't think that's going to be working out well for anything that we're planning on doing. Artifacts in this pool, there are some, but I don't think there's going to be much. So Divine Offering isn't that wonderful. Wall of Vapor and the Bodalian Soldiers, those are like playables. And that's about it. The blue is really weak, as is white, so I think we can rule those out and trade them all away. White especially, we have good trade value with the Order of Labor. Reverse damage probably may be interesting to some, but as for the green cards, there's a couple of good ones we could splash in. Because Disintegrate is so good that I think that alone is a reason to add red to the deck. Inferno looks good, but I don't think there's much else. The red small creatures are kind of pointless. Like, there's a couple of nice goblins, but I don't think we can do enough. I think... How many goblins do we have? There's the Shrine of Courtmons, Goblin Raiders, Goblins of the Flag. Is that all? Yeah, that's an orc, not a goblin. Yeah, the goblin theme at this point, not something we can do. So I think that's gonna be our trade pile for now. And yeah, those should all go away now. The Armor Troll, the effect is good, but can we cast it? For now, let's keep it there. I'm not really sure. I'm not sold on that. The sword may not be good here. The Aladdin and the Ashn's Transfer Grant, I think they're just too cute. Alright, the Inferno and Disintegrate, those are the red cards we're going to be using. And the Rainbow Veil, well, that's a Rainbow Land. I think we can maybe play just to kind of make sure we get the red mana when we need it. So what are the good green ones? If you're gonna be sure now that we're not playing small green stuff, the big ones are good. That's a double green. But the card itself is really good. Regeneration doesn't really require that much. A single activation per turn is fine. Banshee is expensive. It is removal, it is that extra reach in the end game, but it costs 4 mana and doesn't have any power. I'm not sold on it yet, but let's see. It might be something we might be adding depending on how black we're going to be ending up. There's a lot of these kind of good small green creatures, but I doubt we have enough. The artifact hate ones are... How many artifacts are there that actually matter? Because stuff like, yeah, the Wall of Swords, things like that could be good. The Mana Vault, yeah, absolutely playable. Tornos' weaponry, absolutely playable, I think. Little removal, little small creature. Like, there's a good example. Like, green gets Agathian Pixies, black gets Cyclopean Mummy. Bog Imp's gonna be a flyer. And this, yeah, this is kind of clear what the plan is now. And the initiation of Even Hand, actually, those are really good because we can filter out a lot of the mana we get with all the green lands, and Basalt Troll as well as an extra mana source. But now the question is about the Breeding Pit. Do we want to include it or not? I think for now we can keep it, but not sure. But these are clear picks. These are easy ones. Title Maggot is our removal. It may bite us in the ass, but let's see. Carrion Ant's obvious choice. I think this is something we're gonna be starting with. These look like all playable cards. And what's our count? We're over 20 cards so far. And of course, the Jewel Bird that everyone got. I think that's something we're going to be putting in as well. That's a topper. And here is the base. This is where we're starting off, and this is what we're going to be doing. Here's the trade pile, and I think this is a solid plan for the future. With that black, green, and red hodgepodge, I started to find myself some trades. Without me knowing it, my first trade was perhaps the best one on the whole weekend. I was able to score me 4 swamps. And yeah, Black Knight and Urk Raiders as well, but the swamps. Also, knowing how weak my blue was, getting rid of the Timmy was inevitable. It's sad to see him go, but I knew he was good value in a trade. In my second trade, I was able to get something out of my white cards. At this point, my green was still looking good, and I'm still holding on to the idea that I can theoretically pivot to heavy green. My black is good, but the double black mana spells are hard to cast if I splash too heavily, and cards like Order of Even Hand does require a lot of black mana. But now I have both Lure and Venom, and 2 Elven Riders as well, so I think we're good on that front. My third trade was a simple one. The big thing here was that I got an extra swamp. Those transmogrants can be good if you find the other combo pieces to go with them or artifact hate, but I wasn't gonna go that route myself, so this was an easy trade for me. And in addition to those big trades, many players did some quick dumb trades just to fill out quests. Things like, here's a trash common, what will you give me for it? This would fill your quest for trading with enough people and possibly get you a set of commons. I was able to get my playset of Bog Rats done this way and boosted my deck with another Hazaran Ogress. Next, I had to dish out quite a lot of stuff, but the result was totally worth it. At this point, most of us had already realized that basics are valuable, so me giving out 2 planes and a pseudo removal spell for an Unholy Strength was expensive, but totally worth it. Those white cards were only trade fodder for me, and the Unholy Strength would work really well with my small creatures. This trade was a clever one in a way I realized only much later, and not in my favor. That Rubinia Soulsinger I'm trading away, I could have actually used that card already for an extra quest reward to win a match with a 5-color deck. Put Rubinia and Disintegrate in my black deck and boom, 5 colors. But fortunately, I was getting more Hazaran Ogresses, which is a card I really liked in this pool. 2 mana, 3/2, basically Suicide Black. It's great. It's just perfect aggro card. And at this point, I have come to the realization that my green is probably not going to cut it. I've gotten so many good black cards and not much green, so it was time to start trading them away. Blessing and Sophia Falcon, not cards that I'm going to be using myself, but I suspect that they might get me something better later on. Next in line were two small trades that was mostly done for adding another trade in the books for quest purposes. Getting a Wall of Shadows might come in handy against some beefier stompy decks, but not really in line with my aggro plan. And the second was just to get myself stuff that I can trade later on for other cards. Nothing really that I needed, but I hoped I was going to find someone who needed a bit more blue creatures. Unfortunately, I had missed one of my trades and did not have a picture of it. Nothing major was gained, but I did get myself an Ebon Stronghold just to help me cast black spells quickly. After all this trading, the start of the tournament was closing in, so I needed to actually build my deck. All the green cards were out, and the red cards were cut down to just Disintegrate and Inferno. I had a couple of test games with my list and it felt fine. I did feel like I was missing still some punching power, but this was okay for now. I was able to get some quick trades in before the tournament, which helped me a lot. I got a ton of black cards in exchange for my strip mine. The other guy was trading for monetary value and I got tournament value. We both got what we wanted. As a last minute trade, I handed out my Abomination for a Mountain Yeti, which I then immediately traded away with my Wall of Stone for more black cards. The Helm from Beyond felt a little too cute to use, but the Bog Wraith, that was good, and I knew the field was gonna be black, so the Swamp Walk's gonna be valuable. These final trades also got me some last-second rewards, and I was able to get a Lost Soul and Junoon Efreet to round out my deck. And this was the list I started the tournament with. I decided to drop the Jeweled Bird completely, as I really didn't care if I lost some of my cards as anti. I had no massive hits here, so it was all fair game. The Inferno was the second card I dropped. The double red, maybe a bit too difficult to actually cast. And then it was time to start the tournament and get this ball rolling. Round 1 I got paired up against John and had to take a mulligan for the start. Now, what do I want to put down? A good question. I do have at this point a fairly good amount of black beaters in my hand, and the Ebon Stronghold is a good start. John is still playing his Jeweled Bird, so apparently he's got some better cards in his deck. Tonos' weaponry for me, another mountain, and at this point there's a little problem in my hand. I don't have a third land, and I'm really hoping to draw a swamp at this point, because I have a lot of black costed creatures in my hand, and if I can't get those fixed, I'm screwed. And yeah, this beat me right away, because I can't cast anything. Right now I'm just hoping the top card is a swamp, and yes, it is. Now, John's getting a little ahead of me at this point, getting a ramp spell and a 1 free turn from me not playing lands, so let's see how bad this is gonna be. 5 mana for a 3-colored deck. Carnivorous Plant, yeah, that's a good one. 4/5 blocker against my wall of small creatures is gonna be a problem, but now the Junoon Efreet, that's gonna be my ticket out of this. 3 power straight away, and the Tonos' weaponry is probably gonna be slapped right on him. Moholt Elsdrakan, Rampage 1. Yeah, sure, it's a 4/6 creature, but yeah, the Rampage is not gonna be that important here. But right now, we're both racing with a 4-powered creature, and I have a blocker to jump. And pretty much I can just... if I need to start jumping and like getting that damage reduced, I can do that quite well. Stang is a bit of a problem. 2 creatures for the price of 1. This is gonna be a tight race. He's at 12, I'm at 16. I got a good standing of right now. There's the Order of Ebon Hand. Creature's not gonna probably do much here. I can't really buff it. I have to pay the upkeep cost for the Journal Efreet. Yeah, I can just give it 1 power, 3-1. Yeah, not really gonna do it. And I can't really afford to change the Tornos' weaponry to anyone else. And he's gonna come with everything. Now that is interesting. I could double block the Stang, but that would get rid of stuff. But this is tricky. I can like feel that there's a trick somewhere here, but what do I have to play around? Sure, he could have a bolt, which would completely wreck my blocks, or basically there could be anything at this point. You got 3 colors in there and a lot of mana, 4 cards in hand, and yeah, I just need to probably just jump and take as little damage as I can and just keep dropping small creatures. That puts me to 13. Not a good position to be. What's jump? There was no combat tricks here, but what are we gonna be seeing? Oh no, yeah. Channel Fireball. Yeah, he got enough mana to cover the life loss. That's game 1 right there. And I lost the Combat Witches for the ant here. I gotta just slot something else in right away, because I need to trade that back after the game, but right now there's gotta be something here. The Witches are good, but I don't think actually they're gonna be really important in this matchup. And let's hop on to game number 2 straight away. I'm on the play for this one, and let's see if I can get more aggressive start. Oh, that's a risky keep. Risky keep. That hand is good, but nah, I can't keep it. Is there a swamp? There would have been a swamp, but yeah, that was a hand I really wanted to kind of pray and hope and like if I could just keep that hand. So many good creatures. That would have been so aggressive hand. Such a good start, but yeah, one swamp just isn't gonna cut it. That's a 2-land hand. Oh, and yeah, this is a bad start already. Yeah, that one landed. That wasn't even the first mulligan of the game. Now I gotta go 3 cards down. It's not impossible at this point for me. I do have a lot of good creatures, and I can do fairly good amount of damage even in the air, which probably is gonna be the key here, because John's deck doesn't seem to fly really well. So the Juno Nefrit is gonna be important if I can get that out. Llanowar Elves, well that's a good card, so it's good enough for me to use the weakness and get out, because I need to buy some time. I need to get the ball ring. Husband Ogress is a good start. If there's no blockers here, that's gonna be hitting for 3. Thorn Thalid. This is gonna get quite weird at some point. The Thalid is gonna be fairly good against me, because I have a lot of small toughness creatures, and I don't know if I have really a way to get rid of it. The Urg Riders, that's gonna be good. 3 toughness and a lot of damage. Yeah, that damage is stopped right there. The Carnivorous Plant is gonna ruin my day. But yeah, have to attack, because I'm not gonna be taking damage. There's no point of me keeping the Urg Raiders back just for a blocker for basically nothing at this point. So just offer it up, get the Junon Ifrit, and Darkwood Boss, not happy to see them. Especially now that my mana is gonna be tied up in that Junon Ifrit. It's probably gonna be quite difficult to get new chump blockers in. Right now I can just still take it. Mountain Yeti. Yeah, this is not looking good. This is probably gonna get out of hand pretty quickly. John's deck has a lot of good creatures. He has got very strong 4 and 5 drops, which I would assume are the key to a format like this, because a lot of the lot of these chunky creatures are the ways to kind of punch through. They trade up really well, and if you got removal like pyrotechnics, it's yeah, I don't think there's really much of a way for me to get out of this one. Let's see what my top deck is, and is there anything that could save me? Another land. And Frozen Shade. Well, that's decent, and at least next turn it can grow, but now the question is, do I get to see a next turn? How's the attack gonna be? Is it gonna be just an all-out swing with everything? Yeah. There's quite a lot of damage coming through. I do need to actually jump everything with the Ogress immediately. And the problem is the Mountain Yeti is gonna be an issue, and I don't think I do have an out for this. And Giant Spider as well. And yeah, Tonus' weaponry is not gonna cut it. And John even got a second combat witches from me. Yeah, let's see what I can trade for him just to get this back. Alright, now the trade pile is going, and pretty much to get those witches back, I'm willing to give anything. If there's anything that John can use, you can basically pick it out. Yeah, and Tsunami, going for the Tsunami for the both. Yeah, it's a fair trade. He's gonna get something good against blue, and I get my witches back. Alright, let's see the next one go a little bit better. That was quite a beating. Round number 2, I got paired up against Fulco, and let's see if this hand pans out a little better than the game 1 hands. This looks like a decent solid start, and Fulco's hand looks kinda nasty. Yeah, the Wall of Heat and the Avenant Archers, those are creatures that are going to be a problem for my deck. But the Vampire Bats, that is a solid start for now. I can start getting a little damage through, and the House Run Ogress as well is gonna be a nice little starter. But now the good question is, what's the threat that the Fulco is gonna be worried about the most? Because there's pretty much the options of Davenant Archers or Wall of Heat at this point. Which one of those creatures they want to stop? And the Wall of Heat was the choice that takes out most of the damage. The House Run Ogress would have been just spamming and hitting as much as possible, but the Vampire Bats is a good start, good way of getting that early damage through. But now, is there another plan? No, the archers are coming in, and Benalish Hero as well. So now there is a banding option when it comes to blocking, so I really cannot attack basically with anything. There's no favorable attacks for me. And yeah, it's better to just buff up the bats and start swinging. Rainbow Veil changes owners right at the end there. I don't know if that's gonna come back to me. Fulco has a fairly decent amount of lands at this point and a couple extras in hand. So it is possible that I'm not gonna be seeing that in this game again. But for me, the bats are really gonna be doing a lot of the work right now, because I know I'm gonna be getting at least 1 without spending any mana, and up to 3. Up to 3 if I pump it completely. The archers can't touch it right away, but at this point I do not know, but there's the Bloodlust in hand, which is gonna be a key piece. It works really well with the archers, because you can drop the enemy creature's toughness down to, basically always down to 1. There isn't many creatures in this whole format that can survive a -4 and still survive the 1 point of archer damage when attacking. So that is actually a fairly clever little combo. Not much seen anymore, but You could basically do the same thing with Timmy or any other creature that pings damage, but for now, the bats are just swinging in. Initiates of the even hand, good way for me to filter mana, but that's not really necessary at this point. That was basically just given right now as a fodder. Yeah, and my opponent goes for it because I do try to keep my life total as high as possible, and that mana filtering, that's not going to be necessary. I already have 3 black mana available, so I don't really care about those anymore. But just not losing to damage if I don't have to is probably the more important thing. Because my down to ground creatures can't do much. And now my opponent actually, yeah, he figured it out and thought that this is the moment he needs to be active. But fortunately for me, I got a bug imp as well, so the flying damage is just gonna keep on coming. And I gotta just put the Tonus' weaponry, attach it to the bug imp next turn and start dealing more damage. And yeah, it is pretty clear at this point that Fulco is flooding out. Already played 7 lands and I can see at least 1, maybe 2 planes in hand. Yeah, 2 lands more and there's like... He's in a dire need of gas and... well, that's an orb, that's something. Yeah, play the planes, not the not the Benalish hero. Yeah, the Benalish hero, that's not going to be really useful because the Quambach Witches is going to snipe it. But the question is, would I even do that? Because the Orc is going to be... actually, the Orc can't even attack because the Hostron Ogresses are too strong. But I'm at the situation where I just need to hit as much damage to the player and not the creature. So presenting an extra 1/1 there to kind of soak up 1 point of damage might be useful. And there is the Wraiths for me, but the Wraith isn't gonna be helpful. That's just another creature that's going to just gum up the board, make sure that there's nothing coming through. Wall of Stone, another creature that I'm not going to get past in any way. But fortunately, the Imp is gonna be flying this game to the end if nothing changes. And there's the Disintegrate to finish things off. That's a fast win. And the opponent couldn't just basically do any pressure and like couldn't threaten me in any way. So the little flyers are just going to get the job done. Opponent's ante was a mountain, so basically I'm just gonna hand it out back, just give me any basic land and I'm good. And then we hop on straight to game number 2. And here I can see the most annoying thing in my opponent's hand that's gonna be fairly obvious to me soon. The Circle of Protection Black. That's that's a card I do not want to see, but let's just see how bad it's gonna be. And my hand looks solid, and yeah, the Bird Maiden, that's a card that might be an issue because it can deal with one of the smaller flyers that I have. But I think I'm gonna be just doing a ground pound at this point and like gum on the board with Urg Raiders and all the small walkers. And there's even a second Circle of Protection. I mean, that's a tough hurdle for me to get past. It seems Fulco was really smart about his choices in that sense that there is a lot of black decks here. So even mainboarding a single Circle of Protection Black would have probably been a decent option, but those two, I believe, both came from the sideboard. And for me, the Quambach Witches, that's a nice start. It's gonna get rid of the blocker or just start dealing a little bit of damage. Because the circle protection makes sure that I can't really use the witches to hit the player, but I can make sure that all these 1 toughness creatures are not going to be doing much. And from flooding to screwing, my opponent does not get a good balanced mana option up now, because last round it was just too many. Now he would need a lot more. But at least he's doing something. This is not going to be a non-game in that sense. But right now the question is that I am able to do pressure him in a way, do some damage. The Junoon Free, that's 3 points if you tap your mana. And there lies the biggest issue of Circle of Protection. You're stuck with the cards in your hand just because you cannot play them. And I'm not even gonna bother at this point to tapping it out. There's such a small chance that there would be any instant speed spells in a deck like that that I would care about. And so like keeping 1 mana tapped just by attacking with the Junoon Efreet is not really necessary. But pinging the Banalish hero, making sure that I can do a lot of damage on ground, that's a better option, because now I can just keep tapping more and more lands every time. Yeah, remember to actually take the Husband Ogre's damage, because I'm not going to be paying a lot of those. Here I'm just going to start pressuring as much as I can and get the blockers out, take a little damage myself. Now I would prefer to get a couple of extra lands right now, because paying for those Husband Ogres is going to be expensive. But right now the question is, how would I do this? Do I ping them first to kind of see if they're gonna tap the mana? Okay, there's another Husband Ogres. Okay, these are yeah, the mana is gonna be an issue, especially when the Junoon Efreet is keeping those 2 lands tapped. But every turn the situation is always the same. My opponent's not getting more lands, and he cannot play anything, because right at the moment where he taps his mana, I'm going to be swinging in as hard as I can. And Order of Even Hand joins the group as well. Now I got 3 creatures that can freely attack, and the Quombach Witches can also ping if needed. Yeah, disintegrating the Order of Even Hand is a solid choice. That could do some damage, but that was tapping 2 mana, which means there should be a little opening for me to do some damage. But let's see, how much do I want to do. First, the testing the waters, pinging for 1. Yeah, not worth the mana, and that was basically free damage for me. And a Black Knight, and no need to attack immediate. Oh, that was actually a little misplay, and I just picked it up there. The Urk Raider's gonna just... yeah, we just tap it, because it would have been a free attack to do, and the opponent had so much mana, it really didn't matter. So my opponent was lenient and gave me the possibility to tap the creature and not just take 2 damage for it. But here's the situation. There's the Bird Maiden, which would be a decent creature to play. The Blastclaw Orcs is iffy, but with such a board that I have, which is always increasing, my opponent just cannot spend mana, and it really looks like that this game might just end in the fact that like I'm just spamming out more and more stuff, and my opponent is just getting their hand stuck basically. And there's the Bird Maiden coming down. 3 mana left, so okay, I might do a test ping. Yep. Pinging for 1, is it worth the tap? Nope. 1-for-1 life trading at this point is just fine for me. I am at lower life total, which may be an issue, but they already used 1 Disintegrate, and I don't think they're going to be having a lot of those. But now I can start doing some damage, because I have more attackers than Fulco has mana to activate. So that takes 3. Let's see, what's the best line for him? So like, how much damage can they prevent? But this means that they are starting to take damage every turn. And I might just get myself ahead in this race. They have a wall of stone now, but is that the creature? Oh, no, that's kind of a misplay from my opponent. Yeah, I don't think he thought that through. Yeah, because 2 Bloodlusts on a Bird Maiden would have been extremely good, no questions there, but they do reduce the toughness, and I have the Witches. And for some reason my opponent just completely missed it. Maybe he just thought it was +4/+0 and didn't think it through. And I think that might be the thing that turned this game around. If my opponent can survive from that misplay, I think it would be a miracle, but let's just see how much damage I can push. The 4 attackers are free. 2 of those should go through. I think I can pay 1 Ogress as well, and I got so much life I can... Is that actually enough to kill them? Could I just go for total and just swing with the last one as well? No, I think that's all I'm gonna be doing now. Yeah, it drops them to 4. Well, technically, yeah, it would have been lethal actually if I'd counted it completely, because 3 damage extra for the Ogress and 1 ping for the Witches would have been enough to kill them, but I don't think that might not be a problem right now. My opponent, can they do anything? No, they're just passing the turn, leaving all mana up. That's 6 mana, and I have quite a few attackers coming in. And I do know that if I draw the Disintegrate from my deck, that's gonna be immediately game over, because that Circle Protection can't protect from red damage, and I have enough mana to kind of make sure that things go my way with that. Lost Soul, another free attacker, and there's the Healing Salve I saw in the hand, and even though it may be a dumb spell, but right now it's going to be keeping my opponent alive a little bit longer. Let's see how far this crew can go. That's the 4 attackers. Those are the easy one. Actually, the Lost Soul could have attacked as well, but I kind of forgot that existed. And my hand is full of basically extremely mana inefficient creatures. Like the inefficiency of all those Carrion Ants and Banshees and Frozen Shades and cards like that. A situation like this, those creatures are basically just 0/1s with no abilities. Because the Ogress is gonna suck my mana away, and the Efreet is gonna be costly, but why not just play it and see how it goes? And I'm just actually, there's the little... Yeah, these are like Sunday games, so these are like, there are some misplays happening here a little bit, and we are generally lenient, but sometimes you just make mistakes. The Junon Efreet's the Junon Efreet's upkeep cost was realized at this later stage. It doesn't really matter to the game, and the Swarm could just overrun them and get the game over. And yeah, looking at the hand, there's the Frozen Shade and the Banshee as well. I just did not have enough mana to play all those creatures out and start actually using them. So let's see the ante. What was up in this game? Swamp for me. Well, of course I wasn't getting. And Brass Claw Orcs. Yeah, that's interesting. Let's see what can I get for the Brass Claw Orcs. And I grabbed a Plague Rats. Round number 3, I got paired up against Emil the Blessed himself, and he gave me this lovely The Edge Man sticker as well. That's going in my deck box straight away, and I am keeping that. And now we're getting the starting hands done, the antes are up, and I believe I am mulliganing for this start a little bit. And as for now, let's see how this pans out. Do I get a good start, or what am I looking at? The Junoon Ifrit and Carrion Ants. Oh, and there's a good selection of strong cards. Air Elemental in the end, and the occasion Javelineers. And that may be an issue against some of my creatures. I have so many one-toughness creatures that that may become an issue. But the Urg Raiders, they don't care. They're just gonna start swinging straight away. They can't even block and throw the javelin both here because they're 3 toughness. 3 toughness does not care. The order of the Initiates of Ebon Hand was extremely useful. I got the Black Knight out of those 2 mountains, and now even if they throw the javelin at the Initiates, well, they've done their job. Now the protection from white extremely handy. I need to get some damage in at this point. The Vampire Bats, that's a bit of a fodder creature, because the 1 toughness is especially going to be weak against the archers. And another Davenant archers, yeah. I think the Black Knight's going to be the creature that's going to be saving me right now. If I do get the Order of Ebon Hand, that would be a great draw. But no, I just... the Urg Raiders, I'm just going to try to kind of lure some damage out of them, because honestly, I'm just... that creature isn't going to be doing much for me. Because I cannot leave it behind, it's not a good blocker here, and taking 2 points of damage every single turn, not something I want to be looking at. And an unstable mutation for the occasion Javelineer. Yeah, the bats are going to be jumping immediately, because that creature is not going to be attacking anytime soon, so might as well soak up some damage while it can, especially now that the mutation still +3/+3, so the next hit's gonna be smaller, so I don't mind. Another question is, am I gonna go for the offense, or am I gonna stay and be defensive about this? So the Black Knight is basically free to do anything it wants. It can block perfectly, or it can attack perfectly. But my opponent's at such low life. I think the right answer is to just start doing as much damage as possible. There are, well, the 4 mana now, the Air Elemental in their hand that was shown from the opening, not gonna be coming down yet, so I got a couple of free hits still here. A blue creature would be extremely good right about now, because that would mean that the Black Knight couldn't just ride his horse wall to wall and end to end, like kill them immediately. But there are, I think I saw a Karma in their hand, which is an interesting card. But no, they're gonna go for the 2nd mutation, and they are gonna be staying behind. Now this is interesting. They're gonna be just making sure the Carrion Ants are not gonna be doing that much damage. Right now, I'm not sure if I want to just sacrifice the Urg Raiders, or I'm gonna just be taking damage. I'm at good solid 20, so 2 points doesn't matter, and it can block for 4. So that might be better. The Junoon Ifrit, yeah, that's good one, because flying creatures, and especially a flying creature with toughness 3, means that the archers can't do much. But there's the 5th mana, and there's the Air Elemental. Yep, that's gonna be a tough one. Now there's the first creature that can actually block the Black Knight, but I do have the Disintegrate, which would probably be one of my best draws at this point. And I think I'm gonna go for that one. If I get land, I get the 4, and yeah, exactly. Don't pay for the effort, make sure that if I draw a land, the disintegrate's gonna be enough. And that is exactly what happened, and that was a lucky draw. If I would have lost, it would have been a bug imp. And what's my opponent's ante? What's it gonna be? It's a plains. Okay, yeah. I'm trading this back right away if they can hand me out another basic. Basic instead, because yeah, I don't want to make the deck that much weaker by taking out the precious basics. But a blind trade. Another plains that is then. Okay, that is fine. Going into game number 2, and the opponent's hand is good. Mine is fine, no issues there. But the karmas look scary, and this is another perfect example, like what we saw in round 2. Fulco had the Circle of Protection blacks. Emil is having karmas in their deck, and we did see that karma sneakily in their hand in game 1. They didn't have the time to play it, but here I think the karma is going to be the thing that is going to be extremely good. I'm already at 3 swamps, and I haven't done any damage, so this is going to be a tight race. Sure, the ogres can do 3 damage right now, but I'm sure they're going to have some creatures to block me. A second ogress, good choice for me, and yeah, a second karma for them. Yeah, at this point I'm looking at a really tough situation, because especially now with the husband ogresses, I do have to pay the attack cost every time I wanna use them, because looking at my life total is that if I don't pay them both, I lose immediately just to the karmas. But I think yeah, just adding another creature is probably my only way out, and my outs are extremely slim right now. I don't believe there's much I can do, but let's see. 2 blockers as well. I think this game is over. There is no way I can deal with all of that, so it's just final check for the board, and that's game. Alright, what do I lose for this one? I would have gotten an archer, and there's a swamp. Yeah, another blind ante, and what's gonna be? Tormod Script. Well, that's a real card. That's something Emil can use in another game. And heading into game number 3, my hand is okay, not great. The lands may be an issue. Sure, the initiates are gonna be filtering all the red mana into black, but I'm quite low on life, and as low on mana, and occasion Javelineers would be an extremely problematic card right now. But we did see a karma in their hand right from the start, and that's gonna put a clock in as soon as they start using it. But at least I am getting a lot of creatures in right now. 4 creatures before their first blocker. That's fairly good, but the archers is one of the creatures I did not want to see. That's a extremely strong creature against me, but I do have a decent board, and the next attack is gonna be quite free. Erg Raider is probably gonna be an easy attack. I could use the witches to kind of ping the archers and threaten the extra damage. But let's see if I have a better plan here. No, I think I'm just safely going to just deal a little damage as much as I can without a big hassle. And second Erg Raiders, it is a solid option always. Erg Raiders are with a toughness of 3. They are decent attackers always, and just spamming them out is fine. And there is the karma. Now, okay, I'm at 20 life, I got only 2 swamps. Sure, I'm not gonna be playing many more, but right now the situation doesn't look that bad. The board is basically mine, and I can deal a lot of damage still. Second witches, that's gonna get rid of the archers. That's a good thing. Okay, that means I do lose probably both my vampire bats and initiates, but yeah, it's worth it. Azure Drake. Now that's an interesting one. 2/4 flyer. Oh, but that's problem, because I have if there wasn't any summoning sickness on the second witch, I would have been really happy, but unfortunately I could not get it down immediately, and now my attacks just went from nice to extremely bad. The Drake would have been just fine, but the unstable mutation on the archers, that's a step too far. And it is still too big that I can't even shoot it with the witches, so yeah, I'm gonna be losing both of them, because also with the karma in play, I cannot just keep taking 4 points of damage every turn by not attacking with the Urg Raiders. There's no some thought about what am I gonna do with the archers. Am I gonna be just not the archers, but the witches? Are they gonna be useful, or am I just gonna be bring in more fodder and waiting for that the avalanche archers to shrink down to a more manageable size? My opponent's getting a lot of good lands, and there's the Elopile. Elopile is not that annoying. Sure, it can get rid of either the bats or the ogress, but I doubt that's gonna be an issue for me. There's the risky kind of baiting for the use for the Elopile, because they could ping back and hit the witch and then use the Elopile, and yeah, that's exactly what they're gonna be doing. But I just wanted it out from the play to see, because there's something I can't just stop using my witches. Those are really useful, especially that I had the third one in hand. Losing one is fine, but right now the karma is a clock, and the archers is annoying, and there's even a swords to plowshares. Yeah, I can't get rid of the archers really quick, because the phantasmal forces, that's an obvious choice. I just gotta get rid of it, and that was exactly used pretty much exactly for that, baiting another hit that's not going to their face. At this point, yeah, it is viable to think that I should be shooting everything at their face, but they're at 7 life, but there's karma and there's the flying creature on their board, so I'm a bit hesitant and kind of thinking, can I be aggressive, or do I have to just stay back? A lot of back and forth thinking and talking. Oh yeah, this was an actual misplay from me, because yeah, I had the Bog Imp, and I immediately realized that I should have played the Imp and put the Unholy Strength on that instead of putting it on the Ogress, and just asking my opponent that if I can take that back, because it didn't change anything about the game, but it wasn't like an obvious choice. I do a Bog Imp and a Unholy Strength. That's the way to do it. And Emil was a really good guy about this, and immediately just said, "And I can take it back," because the games are 1-1, and it is a very tight situation. Anything can happen at this point. I could draw my Disintegrate. They could get another Unholy Strength, not Unholy Strength, but Unstable Mutation in there, or maybe they draw their second Karma and basically royally screw me. But Emil was a fair player. Didn't mind me taking it back, because situation is though they're at 5 lives, I'm at 4. They have a flyer, I have a blocking flyer. Tight choices, but this is a tough one. Am I going to be able to push that damage through, or do they just have to wait for 2 turns and I'm dead from the karma? And that's about it. But the archer is the one that's really annoying because it all the time it is making my attacks bad. Simply by adding that 1 point of damage, I can never like push damage without losing everything. And what is the last card in hand for Emil? Is there something good? Or are they just gonna pass the turn and wait for the karma to do its job? That's one safe ping for now, but I cannot use the witches anymore to ping anything because that's immediately game over for me. I believe it's the disintegrate is one of my main outs. Let's see. Is the disintegrate on top? And I do know that right there. What's it gonna be? No, that was not a disintegrate. Do they have anything good? Do I have anything good? What's the situation here? Swinging with everything, paying for the ogress. 1 damage, and is there a way out? Nah, there was nothing. I got nothing in my hand. And no, yeah, the disintegrate wasn't there. Just quickly showing that that was the way. That was the card I was looking for. Okay, so Emil take this one. I could have gotten the unstable mutation, but I lost a mountain. Let's see what I will be trading for it. Is this going to be a blind anti, or do they want to pick something up? It's a blind card, and they are getting the Fallen Empire Soldier Lords. Sure. And round number 4, I get paired up against the Troll crew. Henk is my opponent, and both mulliganing. Yeah, Henk is showing us the card he's putting down, and yeah, the Jeweled Bird, not really the card you want to keep when you're mulliganing down. Vampire Bats, always a nice start. Now, Henk's deck is actually amazingly cool. As you start seeing all the cards he's putting down, and yeah, he wanted to show something for the camera, something he's in hand, and this is the first time I'm getting to see it as well. Yeah, Terror is not the card you want in a game like this. No questions there. But yeah, Hank's deck is really cool. He's got a lot of cool synergies and combos in this, and let's just hope we get to see some of them play out, because there's a lot of cool things. I'm a little screwed on lands, and that Ocean Soldier is gonna be a good blocker here, but luckily I got the bats, so if nothing else I can always just deal 2 damage with the bats. And yeah, that's what I'm going for. I believe my strategy here is gonna just be do as much damage as I can as early as possible. And there's a Fungusaur. Yeah, Fungusaur in a green and black deck. That might give you some idea of what to look forward to, because yeah, Fungusaur is one of those creatures that if your opponent is stalling out and you got the other combo pieces to match, you're gonna be doing so much with it. And a Mind Stab Thrall. That yeah, the Thrall is not gonna be really useful. The Black Knights are extremely good at blocking here, and the Bat is just doing all the work. And a 1-point Hurricane. Well, yeah, that gets rid of it. Now let's just hope I can get another flyer, because the ground is getting quite bogged down. The Llanowar Elves. Llanowar came up a little bit late. That would have been an amazing turn 1. But the Unholy Strength on the Black Knight, that's enough to kind of punch through. 4 points of power with the first strike. That's always been really good. Everything's coming my way. Now the question is, do I want to jump for the Mind Stab Thrall, or how good is my hand? I can see that there's the Disintegrate in my hand, so I think I do not want to lose that. So just jump that and take 3 from the other creatures, and I believe I'm good. As I start getting more mana, yes, okay, here's the third swamp, and the mana starts coming now, so I can start deploying more and more creatures. What's in this? The Tauna's weaponry is the Lost Soul. Yeah, Lost Souls is a good start. 2 power creature that can block pretty well. So the Ocean Soldier has a free attack, but the others... yeah. Hank is going for the trade, and right now... Good questions. Yes, actually, I am taking all the damage, but Hank didn't want to sacrifice the troll, so I get to keep my cards and everything fine. He's thinking about racing me, which may be difficult, especially that he get only 1 card in hand, and I'm just surviving a mana screw here. Tapping a lot of mana, never looking good, but I think we got a peek at what's coming down. And there's the bronze horse. Yeah, this this is a rampager, so that's not really an issue here. Not gonna be blocking it with multiple creatures. I'm good with that. And now, yeah, there's the red mana. The disintegrate is now active, so at any point, if Hank drops down to 3 or less, I can deal a lot. The Lost Soul is gonna be doing 2 points with Swamp Walk, so that's gonna be dropping him to 4, but 4 is not enough by itself. But I think, yeah, this is the safe play, just add more stuff. The Witches is gonna do damage as well, so unless there's something really good coming down here, I'm quite sure I can get the game done, over and done, right next turn. Living Lands, that's a... well, he got all the blockers in the world, and the Witches are getting really useful at this point. But the Swamp Walk, the Witches, and the Disintegrate, I think that's enough to seal the deal. Yeah. Yeah, and there's the Terran that he showed in the start of the game. Not really handy against me. I got 0 non-black creatures. And let's see, what do I get? Raised Dead, or it could have been a swamp. So what's the trade? I always like ask at this, like with cards like this, like give me anything fun, something that's not important. That the card that if the card can make me laugh, it's the best card ever. So, what's Hank gonna drop down? Oh, he was a courteous man, gave me another Graders to my deck. So we can head on to game number 2. How's the opening hands looking here? Yeah, I got a solid hand, and Hank... yeah, that's a Sandstorm, that's gonna be nice. A decent amount of lands. Let's just hope that's not going to be flooding. Oh, there's even an Abomination in hand. The Abomination, the ability is not going to do anything here. I don't have anything green, but being a 2/6 creature, that's something. Like, I'm going to have a real hard time getting rid of it. And Fountain of Youth. Now there's an amazing card, and if you haven't paid attention, Fountain of Youth Open is played every summer in Tampere. It's an old school event. You should all take a look at and come play. It's a great event, but for now let's just see how much life this fountain can gain him. Because I am getting my creatures down. This is yeah, at the end of the turn gave him the extra life he forgot to take. But absolutely he can get it. And there's the Pestilence. Yeah, we saw the Fungusaur in game 1, and now the Pestilence in game 2. There's a solid combo right there. The Pestilence, a small issue, yeah. The Initiates of Ebon Hand and Hazard August are currently looking quite dead. But Hank is at such low life that he can't just go around using it. Probably if he just does the double activation of Pestilence, he's almost dead immediately. Because the Witches can do 1 damage and the Raider is going to be doing 4. So yeah, the Abomination is the way to go. For me, I think I can slow things down a bit. The Earth Raiders is a free attack right now. It has toughness of 4 and will not trade with the Abomination. But yeah, I'm just gonna swing out with everything, kind of get some damage through. And yeah, those three creatures are not gonna kill each other, but I'm gonna get to do a lot more damage. Dropping Hank down to 2, that Pestilence is not a threat anymore. Another Ogress, another Swamp for Pestilence activations. And then we see the Sandstorm. Yeah, he can clean out quite a lot of attackers from me, but the single activation of Pestilence with Sandstorm kills both my Ogresses and the Initiates. But I got the Witches now, so that's gonna be. I'm probably gonna be leaving them behind just to make the activations a lot more difficult. Simply because Hank is at 2 life. There is the Fountain of Youth. There is the Pestilence. This is getting tricky. I think the game is quite over, but let's see how we can navigate this, because I'm at 20 life at this point, and I think the question is just, I think I'm going to be attacking with everything, but except the Witches. Everything except the Witches, and for the Ogresses, do I need to pay? I'll pay 1, yeah. 20 life, I can easily take a little bit of damage. And yeah, starting off with the Sandstorm that kills the Initiates, deals a lot of damage to everywhere else. The 1 activation for Pestilence clears out the Ogresses. And then Hank is going to activate the... Yeah, he's going to activate the Fountain, and I'm going to ping him right now. And this second activation of Pestilence... Ooh, is that... I think Hank might have missed something. Yeah, the Witches are not attacking, they are they've been activated, so... Yeah, I think there's a little miscommunication here just but... no. A little correction, and... yeah, there it is. There it is. Hank, yeah, Hank realized it right there that the Witches are not attacking. You can't deal 3 damage to them. It's that is exactly the reason why I left them behind. There was no reason for me to just go around attacking. Yeah, and there you can see the Hank's deck kind of looking like hurricanes, him to Thorax, and there's the shotgun, the ring itself, disrupting scepters. Oh, there's a lot of good cards. Drain Lives, Fallen Angel. Yeah, this would have been a really strong deck. Urnum Gin as well. Yeah, Night Soil for the Pestilence loops. Yeah, that's a really good deck. But my deck was probably just a bit too fast here, and for the forest, I'm going to be grabbing another Bog Rats. Round number 5, the last round of the tournament. I get paired up against Aryan, and my starting hand seemed quite solid, so I think this might be a quick and effective, quick game that from start to finish. Aryan's mulliganing, and yeah, that hand's it's a bit slow probably for this one. The Pestilence is good, but when you start playing on your cards on turn 4, it's probably going to be a bit too late. The Bats and the Knights are my starters. The Bats, yeah, they're going to be dying to the Pestilence if it ever gets down. But for now, I'm probably going to start swinging fast enough to deal quite a bit of damage. And the Bog Imp to round things out. Yeah, Bog Imp suffers from the same issue. When the Pestilence comes down, those are all going to be gone. But I hope I've dealt enough damage at that point. There's going to be... The activations themselves are going to be killing Aryan. And a Hazoran Ogress as well. Yeah, this is looking quite done at this point. Yeah, there's the Pestilence, but let's see how much damage I can push through before the activation. Now I just don't need to put anything new on board, just deal as much as I can. I can just pay the Ogress and activate the Vampire Bats as much as possible. Irons down to 5, I'm still at 20, and he has to activate the Pestilence twice. Twice here to clear out my board. Is there another creature, or is the Pestilence gonna be going away? Yeah. Didn't deploy anything, the Pestilence is gone. I can start redeploying all my threats and all the stuff I held back. And Asran Ogress is a really good one, especially with the Tornas's weaponry. That's gonna be a 4-3 attacker. That's gonna quickly close the game. But what's in Aryan's hand? Can he defend himself at all? A War Elephant is not gonna be enough. Well, yeah, I got the Disintegrate. That speeds things up a little bit more. And yeah, he had the Drain Life in hand. He could have killed the Houseron Ogres, gained little life, but I don't think that would have been enough. The Disintegrate was more than enough. And Sage Zombies was the anti, and this was a card he didn't even want back, so I got to keep that one all to myself. And heading down to game number 2, now there's a handful of threats. Something that's gonna be a problem. The Order of Lightbow is one of these stronger creatures in this tournament. Having the protection from black, being a solid pumpable knight, all around really good creature here. And even though I haven't faced a lot of black decks myself, they have been abundant here. I would say at least third of the field is playing black in some sense, and there are quite a few of these mainly black decks around. So having protection from black is gonna be something that plays out easily and can do a lot of damage. Hymn the Torah takes out Hazaran Ogres and Urg Raiders. That was a good hit. Takes a lot of gas out of my hand. And a Bug Imp for me. Yeah, taking out the lands would have been probably even worse, but at this point I think gas is the thing that I need. Hypnotic Spectre, that's gonna be eating my hand even further down, but Witches in there. Now I have a solid way of dealing with it. I can just block it with the Imp and then ping it with the Witches, but that's not going to be happening yet. And there's a Swamp, and there's the Order of Lightbow, yeah. And now the game has a clock that I cannot basically deal with. I need to start raising the situation, and last card in my hand is completely irrelevant, so I can just let it go with the hippie as freely as they want. And the funny thing though is that there aren't many players who are actually playing with sleeves in this tournament. I faced, I believe, 2 players, and most of us just thought that, like, yeah, this is old cards, the way it was meant to be played. We're playing without sleeves, riffle shuffling as much as we want, and like getting that authentic feeling to the play. But yeah, the Bog Wraith, Order of Lightbow, and Hypnotic Spectre, yeah, I cannot deal with this stuff. Yeah, there's I believe there's no outs for me. Yeah, if I had that Urg Raiders and Husband Ogress from the start, I could have had some chances, but yeah, this is a immediate, like, quick handshake, and let's head down to game number 3. And the card I lost, Black Knight, yeah. This is basically, how many cards do you want for this? Because I need the Black Knight. That's a really good card, so we're going blind, and I think I'm giving morale, and yeah, I'm giving 2 cards for this because yeah, the Black Knight is just such an important piece of my deck. And game number 3, I think, if we're now getting a little more interesting game, a longer game, because the first 2 were both like, first one was quick for me, and then it was quick for the opponent, and my hand is not looking that good. Yeah, the Vampire Bats is gonna be nice, but the Hypnotic Spectre is also on the opponent's hand, so A little bit of good, little bit of bad, but there was quite a few lands there. Now I just gotta hope that I'm not drawing any more in this game, pretty much at all. I have all the stuff I need. But the Earth Raiders and Vampire Bats, they're gonna be hitting for 4 damage each turn. And yeah, there's the hippie, but are they gonna be blocking? Are they gonna trade with the Vampire Bats? Because I probably will immediately trade it. And yeah, they're going for it, and I'm happy to get rid of it. I don't have to worry about the cards in my hand, even though they may not be that useful. But all I have to do now is just apply pressure and hope there's nothing too crazy. City of Brass, that's gonna be doing a little damage. Yeah, let's just fix the correct card into play. Yeah, not the Development Archers, but the War Elephant. Easy swing for me at this point. Earth Raider is still bigger than the Elephant, and Witches are gonna be quite helpful to close the gap. Let's see, do the Archers come down this turn, or are we gonna see something worse? No, well, there is the City of Brass, so yeah, the Archers are coming down and a little damage. And him the Torak, but yeah, I got nothing but land, so I don't mind. And this is why I would have probably just wouldn't have cared at all about the Hypnotic Spectre hits, because my hand is so weak. And now the question is how the banding damage is going to be dealt. All went down to the Archers. That's an... Yeah, my opponent is kind of thinking probably that the War Mammoth is so good that they don't want to get rid of it, so they just decided to put all damage on the Archer, so I couldn't ping the one that I wanted. And Sengir Vampire is a problem. Sure, I'm at 19 life and it's gonna be dealing 4 to me, but with the Witches it's basically 6 damage to my face every turn, and the Elephants is probably attacking as well, maybe. They could band and attack quite efficiently. But yeah, Sengir Vampire only at this point. The Witches are gonna be dealing damage. I'm just trying to close things out, draw the Disintegrate, kind of get the game over and done as quickly as I can. But my hand is not cooperating with me that much. Because yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. It's a tough choice. Do I want to play the Unholy Strength on the Quombach Witches or not? And yeah, I'm going for it. Yeah, this is going to be dealing damage. It's going to be pressuring them. Is the Elephants going to be jumping, or are they going to be taking damage? They are not at that high life total. The pink dice are quite difficult to make out. I think they still have at least 7 points of life, but which is why a 3-point hit from the Witches is going to be hurting quite a lot. And this game, it is a real close match, because we both can deal quite a lot of damage out of nowhere. So going down to a low life total is extremely dangerous, and we both know it. So they have seen the Disintegrates, they have seen all the stuff that I can do, and I've seen a lot of strong cards from their side. So this is real head scratcher here, how to go on, because I know drain life at this point would be insane. Yeah, all I had was a swamp in hand. Yeah, I was really good at drawing those into Thorax and discarding all the cards. Yeah, this card is really good in an event like this. Now the question is, do I want to offer that Witches there? Because I could attack and then ping for the last damage, but do I want to just get rid of those, because they are at so low life total? And there was a little surprising bait, because I was just activating the Witches and my opponent pinged the Witches themselves, the pumped up Witches, kind of thinking that probably if I attack, they would not. Or they could always kind of kill the witches, which in a sense is a kind of risky move. But let's see if the damage is going to be significant in this game. The witches, the pumped up witches, just going to be pinging as well. And let's see what's my draw and what am I going to die to. I believe the biggest threat for me is at this point is drain life, because they do have a lot of black mana available. I think what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 swamps and the City of Brass as well. So that's gonna be a lot, especially with the Sanger Vampire as well. So if they're gonna go swinging, I think it might be very problematic. And yeah, this looks scary, but there's nothing I can't really do. But no, there's nothing in hand. This was a bad draw for them. Yeah, the little creatures from my side was able to push the damage through. And the ante was Zombie Master. Now there's a decent card. Yeah, I will be happy to trade that back, but I believe, yeah, Alan just gave it to me, and that is the last round of the tournament for me. And there it is. The deck went 3-2 and was a blast to play. A couple of big hitters more and the deck would have been a killer. Maybe a Fireball Hippie and a Singer Vampire, and that would have been it. But the event was a ton of fun, and I would do it again in a heartbeat. A huge thank you to the Troll crew for making this a reality, and we'll just have to see what are we getting in the next Uthden Troll Cup. I have been the Shivan Librarian, and I'll see you all there next year.